Thank you for clicking on the video. Welcome back to the channel. This is another review for The Real Housewives of Atlanta season 14. This is the reunion part 2. So Marlo is still giving us her sob story. It's like, girl, cry me a river. Cry me, cry me. Kenya interjects because, listen, she ain't no damn victim. She ain't no damn victim. And she's just like, what she's saying don't match her actions. Kenya feels like she's a hypocrite. And listen, same, sis, same. Sonya chimes in talking about she got to even things out. It's like, girl, pipe down. We didn't ask your opinion. We didn't ask you what you thought. Marlo don't need no cheerleader. But anyway, she's going to be Marlo's cheerleader right now. This thing is... You see it. Every time I push it. Hold on. I'll be back. Anyway, Sonya was chiming in to Kate for Marlo. Saying that Marlo has been a good friend to her. You know, she's heard everybody else's experiences. Okay, I understand all of that, but her experience with Marlo has been good, and so Marlo's good with her. Marlo's her friend. You know, she gonna take up for her, whatever. Anyway, Drew, she also chimes in. You know, she and Marlo had a rocky start. She just doesn't know where she stands with Marlo. One minute they cool, the next Marlo coming for her. So she just doesn't know. They're going to work on it. They're working on it. She just wants consistency from Marlo. Andy changes the subject to Marlo's break-in at the house. She says that her nephews were home, and when they just bust in the house, her nephew screamed in a panic, of course, and she yelled from upstairs, probably, I got that fire on me. Come up here if you want some, okay? And they just, you know, you see them scurrying away. And Marlo was wrapped up in the apparently, the people were out here robbing the rich and the famous, you know, the socialites, the reality stars, the rappers, the people who are flashy on social media. And Marlo, we know she's a very flashy individual. And so she got, you know, wrapped up in that whole robbery sting situation. But anyway, Kenya, she tweeted about the situation. And she says that, you know, she was happy that nobody was hurt, but, you know, she felt like Marlo took the time and withheld information from the cast that could have, you know, helped them in the long run. It could have, you know, saved their life, or, you know, it could have stopped anything from going further. But she was happy to release, you know, information and details to the press during interviews and stuff like that. Fake. She hashtagged faked. And so faked. She hashtagged fake. And so Kenya, you know, she ends up explaining her thought process behind all of that. You know, she's just like, she wanted to jump on a conference call with the ladies after it had happened. And, you know, kind of like to rally together and see how they could, you know, help one another stay safe. And Marlo, no, because Marlo had a scare, Candy had a scare. No, Candy, you know, she had that man roll up on her house. Drew, apparently she had a scare as well. And so this is why Kenya wanted everybody to get together, I guess to compare notes and stuff like that. But Marlo was kind of closed mouth. I mean, which she probably should have been. Marlo ends up saying that the officers, you know, asked her not to share any details, which is probably true. It's an ongoing investigation. So Kenya girl, okay. Andy asked the rest of the ladies, you know, if they felt like Marlo was withholding information. Sheree says no. You know, and again, Marlo says, you know, I couldn't. She couldn't really say nothing. Anyway, Andy wants to talk about her decision to send the boys away. And, you know, because he's a parent and it's hard as a parent to look at her, just put them boys out like that. Marlo says that she, you know, probably should have delivered that differently. The way she did, she just, you know, I put them out, when in reality it was just, you know, like they just went to their auntie house for spring break, you know, or summer break. And so it was her delivery in the whole thing. She delivered the message wrong. Candy, you know, she adds her 2 cents because she's like, and it's crazy to me that especially after sitting here and hearing you say that, you know, that family took you in, you thought that was going to be your home. And then you get home and they like, your bags are packed, you got to go. So you put those boys through the exact same thing, you know. So this is why we couldn't wrap our minds around any of it. Of course, Marlo, you know, she starts, you know, explaining it away, you know, because of course her upbringing, that's just that's her excuse for everything. I was just figuring it out. You know, when you're a foster parent, you have to take parenting classes, which is true. You have to take parenting classes because a lot of the children are coming with some type of trauma, and you need to be able to deal with that. But I'm just going off of the school of hard knocks. You know, I don't have no practice. I didn't have no classes, none of that. Girl, no parent takes a parenting class unless you are court ordered to do so. Ain't nobody had no parenting class. We're all winging it. And we can't just say, I don't want to do this no more. Listen, can they come stay with you for a month? I wish I would just call my brother and be like, can TJ Aiden? I just can't do it anymore. I need them to come live with y'all for a month. I mean, granted, that's what a village is, but it's like, what? that is something only parents who are not natural parents do. Because I just can't, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. But anyway, we were all confused by that. But you know, Marlo's going to explain it away. Andy asked Kenya, you know, because she's just going on. And he asked her, Kenya, you want me to move on? I would love if we could just move on, Andy. Please, yes. He talking about some, okay, yeah, I'm going to do it. Please, let's move on from Marlo. We so tired of talking about Marlo. Production and these receipts. So we noticed that this season, a lot of the times, and this is nothing new. You know, normally, somebody, you say something, there's going to be a receipt, you know, in the Rolodex, and production will put it up there on the screen for the viewers after the fact, you know, after, you know, they've cut and edited everything. And most of the edits this season were hilarious. And so we run back through all of the times, you know, production brought the receipts. They say, I mean, Andy tells Drew, you know, you and Ralph got roasted like a whole lot. Y'all got roasted quite a bit. You know, how did that feel? Ralph didn't like that he didn't like that gaslighting package that they had. He didn't like that. He didn't feel like he was doing that to her. But she said it gave them an opportunity. You know, it brought about conversation, necessary conversation. So they're good. Marlo, how your edges doing? You know, this review, this part of the reunion was very, excuse me, I don't know, guys. Did we need it? I was kind of bored. All this bouncing around from topic to topic. I feel like I'm just talking about nothing. What, you know, in reviewing it right now. Like, I just had a moment where I was reading the notes and I was like thinking in my head while speaking, this is dumb. This is dumb. It's a waste of my time. I'm hungry. I would rather be doing something else, but I got to push through the review. Marlo, how your edges doing? Edges doing well. She pulls the wig back and shows us her edges that are thriving. You know, she jokingly says, well, she was being very, very, very sarcastic, I should say, in saying that, oh yeah, I've been using Kenya's products. Have you? Kenya over there like, my products work. I swear by them, bitch. Touche. Thank you for the moment to promote Kenya Moore hair care. So she ain't worried. We got Drew and Ralph, you know, saying Ralph saying he played for Rutgers, which was a lie. Came to find out he was red shirted. Okay, cool. Sheree, how did it feel seeing, you know, the memes about you going around September, spring, summer, you know, all over the internet? She said it was very much, you know, but now she has all her stuff coming out spring, September, summer, blah, you know, whatever. Okay, girl, because what you got up there ain't what we've been looking for or what we've been hoping for. But You gave us something. You gave us something, I guess. I mean, because we could say that you ain't bring us nothing like you've been doing for the past 14 years. So at least now there is product on the site. Candy, she has her Bitch I'm Worldwide merch, you know, on sale as well. She didn't waste no time getting that on the shelves. You know, Candy, like she said, she don't skip a beat or a bag. Mainly the bag. We talk about Kenya, you know, so we get her package, you know. Did everybody notice the change in Kenya? Yes, we all noticed. It's just the viewers as well. I know that I've said that in earlier reviews of the season that I just love the different Kenya. This new Kenya that we got is a change. She equates it to, you know, her life is good. You know, she just came off the heels of Dancing with the Stars, and she had so much fun doing it. You know, the ladies give her praises for that. She says that she was just, you know, good energy. A lot of good happening in her life. Kenya, she starts to talk about her experience with Dancing with the Stars and that it was a very rewarding one for her. She says that her grandmother, you know, couldn't afford to take them to dance lessons or anything like that. So she would take them to the community center for free lessons. And her mom never really, her grandmother loved to see her dance, and she always wanted to dance for her, you know, in a recital type setting. And so Dancing with the Stars gave her that moment to dance for her grandmother. You know, she gets tearful or whatever. Speaking of tears, I forgot to tell y'all when Marlo was, you know, giving us all of what she was giving us, Kenya interrupts and she's like, "Can I have a tissue?" And he's like, "Sure. You tearful? You getting teary-eyed? Wanna wipe your tears?" Kenya's like, "No, my nose is cold." And Andy says something because he's just giving her praise. "You're so brave. You're this, you're that, blah, blah, blah." And Kenya's like, "That's called damage control. It's called damage control." He said, "I need a little tissue for my makeup. I feel like I'm getting a little shiny." Ain't nobody crying. Anyway, Kenya, she, of course, gets emotional about talking about her grandmother. And those were real tears, real deal tears. I will say that. They asked Sonya, they asked Kenya if she's dating, you know, if she's dating anyone. She says she's been group dating, you know, going on double dates with, you know, with a group of friends. Nothing too serious. She's just having fun. They asked him, he asked about John, talking about how's your man, John? She's talking about my man. The man didn't walk off either in Jamaica. He walked off to go to the bathroom, but he didn't, you know, just get up and leave. But anyway, Sonya, why did you feel the need, you know, to keep driving home the point that the Jamaica trip was a couples trip? Like, why'd you feel like you need to do that? Sonya explains herself. You know, she says, "Well, Kenya was upset that she didn't know about the couples trip in New York. And I had wished that Candy had, you know, reiterated that for her. And so I made sure to do so. I did pick up on the fact that I mainly told you couples trip, you know, but everybody else, I made sure to let them know that it didn't have to be a man. It, you know, it could be a friend or whatever." And so, you know, she acknowledges that. And Kenya, you know, she accepts that. Kenya was asked about hanging up on Sonya. And, you know, she answered, "Do you regret it?" "Nope, don't regret it." She says that she did. The only other time she's hung up on somebody, she hung up on her grandma. Her grandma proceeded to come over there and commence to beating that ass. And Sonya over there in the cut talking about, "That's what should have happened. That's what I should have did, girl." Sonya, girl, okay. We know you fast, but can you fight? I feel like Kenya can fight. Even though, like, we saw Kenya and Marlo and all of that this season with all of this right here. Get out my face. Get out my face. Get out my face. But I feel like in her day, Kenya was around there thumping. The upbringing she had, I feel like she was out there fighting for real. Andy asked Sheree and Kenya, you know, why they wanted to go to the outfit shoot. Like, why y'all wanted to go to the shoot? Like, why? Why you wanted to go to the shoot? I would have been on the boat. I mean, they had a good time on the boat anyway. Kenya said she wanted to be there for her. She wasn't there that day prior, and she really wanted to show up for her. She felt like she was letting her down. Science says that those weren't her sentiments at all. She didn't feel let down. She was, however, you know, very tired and irritated from the day that she had. And he asked Sheree, you know, why she wanted, why did she warn Sonya about Kenya? Like, why you tell you was going to have to come hard with Kenya? Why you warning her? And Sheree is like, well, Kenya's very aggressive in her approach. Like, you're going to have to get right with her to, you know, gain her respect. So she was just giving her a little nugget. That's all. It wasn't nothing. I don't think it was no messiness at all. Then out of nowhere, her phone ringing. It's Martell. You know, Kenya snatches the phone. Martell, she'll call you back. They answer. He was FaceTiming. Andy takes the phone. Oh, that's a 10 out of 10. Kenya say, I heard from a little bird that D was a 10 out of 10. And they're just really doing a lot. And I'm sitting there like, this shit is a lie, though. It really doesn't pay to be privy to, you know, all of this social media stuff and all of what goes on, because now that we know what's some bullshit, seeing all of this is like underwhelming. You ain't got no man. Once again, you playing with us, Sheree. Anyway, he calling about the pool, and you trying to make it seem like that's your man. All right, girl. Andy switches the subject, you know, talking about, hold on, let me make sure I ain't skipping nothing. Yeah, Andy switches the subject. He wants to talk about, Sonya, saying that Kenya, you know, uses, you know, her what's going on in her life. She was using it as little excuses to not be accountable when Sonya would approach her about something, like, you know, hanging up on her, or, you know, whatever the case may be. And Kenya was disappointed in that, because she felt like she was being vulnerable. She's like, I shared some stuff with you I ain't shared with none of the other girls, and so I was just trying to connect with you, and you done used that and flipped it on my ass. So no, she didn't appreciate that at all. But Sonya, you know, she stands on it. She felt like she was deflecting, period. Andy asked about Ross, you know, standing up for her and all of that. This time Kenya, you know, gives us her very good PR response. You know, she kind of, you know, knows that she was wrong for throwing that buzzword out there, that trigger word. And so she, you know, makes sure to say that he's a gentleman, that he's a sweet man, that he's soft-spoken, honestly, you know, as to not ruffle the feathers any further. But Sonya, of course, stands up for her man. Oh, he was just standing up for me. And we already knew this. Kenya has already said in her confessional that she just felt the way that nobody was there to defend her the way that Ross stood up for Sonya. Andy asked Kenya, why would you play that shady game at Brooklyn's birthday party? She said, I thought it would be some light shade, like so-and-so gets their pubes colored. Not the messy tea. And of course now, okay, so who actually wrote that Candy was around there giving head in the locker room? Who wrote that? And it was quiet, it was crickets. And then here come Kenya. Candy, I have something to tell you. No, I'm just kidding. No, you're not. You said it. If I was Candy, in the back of my mind, I would have been thinking to myself, yeah, it was you. And I felt like that then. I feel like I said that in my review. It was Kenya. Kenya put that in there. Trying to be funny. Kenya did that. Anyway, Sheree gets called out on her comments, you know, about Candy sucking peen everywhere else. And she's like, well, I mean, she likes sex. You like sex, don't you? So I feel like, haven't you had sex everywhere? And Candy looking at her like, if that's the case, then so have you. You don't like the sex? I like the sex. So, yeah. I guess that makes all of us. Anyway, Science package. Science says that she enjoyed the experience. You know, it was quite different than her reality show, but overall, it was a great experience. And Andy asked, was it harder, you know, to be a track star than to be a housewife? And she's like, oh, yeah, housewife, 100%. I'm born to run track. I've been doing that, born and bred. And so that's easy. That comes easy for me. It's not really she ain't nervous about that at all. But getting in, having to navigate these different circles, it's difficult. So, yeah, it was definitely harder to do this. He asked about her family and are you still gonna have that baby? You know, so she did take the IUD out. It just took Ross coming back on her side and basically telling her it was her choice. And that's what made it, you know, made her decide, okay, well then I'll choose the way you want me to choose. Since you're telling me I can choose, then yes, I choose to have another baby. At first she gave him a 6-month deadline, but he told her to please kick rocks with your deadline. I can't impregnate you in 6 months, and you ain't about to put that kind of pressure on me. And so she's just, you know, it is what it is. Whenever it happens, it happens. They're having fun trying. Sonya, she takes the moment, you know, to tell Drew about herself, because a viewer asked about Drew's, you know, comment, how she, you know, basically told Sonya, if your husband want a baby, give him a baby. And, you know, she just telling her how flawed that is. And, of course, Drew backpedals and pussy pops her, try to get her way out of it. You know, girl, just stop lying so much. Just say what you say. Stand in that crap. If you're going to be this girl, be this girl. You did a lot for you to turn around and say that's not what you meant. Yeah, I meant like she's a woman, so she has to physically have the baby, not the man. A man can have a baby. Don't do semantics with me, Drew Sidora. I don't want to play like that, because it's completely contrived. Like you're playing. You know good and damn well what you said and what you meant. What you meant was your husband asked you to bear his children. Why are you questioning it? Do that because he said so. That is exactly what you believe, and that is what you said. So don't try to turn around and make it seem like you know, you a feminist now and that, you know, you so pro-choice. I don't want to hear that, Drew. I don't want to hear that. But anyway, she's always giving us some type of BS response. It's like, girl, please, enough. Anyway, Kenya and Marlo's long-standing feud. We have to rehash this all over again. Marlo, she says that Kenya is her friend when Kenya needs a friend, I guess, and then she'll throw away when she needs to throw away when she's done with her. And they're all like you did to Portia. Like you did to Portia. You tried to say that's what Kenya did, and Kenya's like, nah, you did that to Portia. You threw her under the bus. And then went over there with so-and-so. Drew was like, yeah, because you tried to get me to fall out with her too. So yeah, you was trying to play chess over there with your castmates. Kenya and Marlo start going back and forth. Kenya says Marlo so fake. Name ain't even real. Her name LaToya Hutchinson. Everybody like, LaToya? Who's LaToya? They put up on the screen her birth certificate that says Marlo Patrice Hampton, but I mean you can change your name, so that's just what it is. But I mean, listen, birth certificate say Marlo. Her name Marlo. Apparently she has all of these, you know, she has all these mugshots and all of that. So of course she probably has different aliases. She said LaToya Hutchinson was her best friend back in the day who used to run with her. So that's who LaToya is. You know, we talk about what about your time in prison? Because Kenya's whole thing is you've had a life. You have had a life, and yet you love to low blow everybody else with their past. What about your past? What about your stint in prison? What about that? Tell us about the time you spent in jail. Tell us about all those arrests. What were they for? Tell us the tea. And Andy kind of gives her an opportunity to do so, and she does. She just opens up You know, and she's like, okay, this is the game we're playing? Okay, can you? All right, well, okay, so this mugshot was for that. This mugshot was for that. You know, most of them were for, you know, violations for not being where she's supposed to be when she on house arrest. She's supposed to be in the house. She out in the street. So, of course, that's a violation. They got to come pick your ass up. They take your mugshot if you get a ticket. I remember I got a ticket. It was a high ticket. I think it was for, I forgot what it was for, but I got the ticket. And I didn't have the money to pay for it. And so I chose probation. And I was so beside myself at the fact that I was like, probation attached to my name? Oh my God. Not that kind of probation, guys. I just had to make sure I was giving them folks their payments when they said come pay them, you know. And so that's all that the probation was for the ticket. But I still had to take a mugshot picture. I felt like I was taking a mugshot picture. They took my picture. And I was like, is this going to be on the records? Like, is this forever? And of course, the lady was like, no, it's for our records. Still, I didn't trust it, but I hope my picture ain't out there somewhere. So I get it, Marlo. I get it. Sometimes they'll get you. Anyway, Marlo explains, you know, she can explain all of what happened in her life. She says she ain't worried. Listen, keep throwing your dirt, girl. I'm just going to come out like a diamond. She ain't worried, not pressed. That's a good attitude to have, you know. Oh, you want to talk about my prison time? Oh, girl, that was for X, Y, and Z. But you should have been doing that, Marlo. You should have been this forthcoming with your own personal life that you like you are with everybody else's tea. So, girl, you tried to stand in it like you ain't embarrassed, but we know you embarrassed about your past. That's your whole thing. That's your whole thing. You don't want people to look down on you for the past that you had. You don't really wear it proudly, so don't try to pretend like you do. Anyway, we talk about Sheree and Drew's feud and how that happened. Anthony was messy boots. Messy. Sheree says that Anthony was never her assistant. Okay, we see in her phone he's saved as Anthony assistant. She says she gives everybody a title, which that's plausible. You know, you the hairstylist, I'm going to put hairstylist by your name. You the braider, I'm going to put braider by your name. You the plug, I'm going to put the trees in the wind by your name. You know, you got to differentiate between the people when you ain't keeping up with names like that. Or, you know, when you're trying to save somebody's information that, you know, has some type of service or something. So, I understood that, Sheree. Drew, you know, she has interns as well, and you know they questioning her. So do you be paying all your people? Like, you coming for Sheree and the payments and all of that, but do you pay all the people that are working for you? Drew says everybody that works for her is paid and taken care of. Anthony himself was about to get his car repossessed, and so they took care of that. So yeah, they take care of their people. Sheree, what's the girl name? Drew, she ends up, you know, they talk about Anthony calling Ralph gay and all of that. And Drew says, oh, he said that he didn't say that. She pull out her phone, goes through it. She got her stuff queued up now. Because remember, last time she tried to queue up a tape, a recording, it fell flat. Because it was like, girl, this ain't even the right part. What are we listening to? This time, I guess it had a little bit more context. Anthony, you know, just running his mouth about this, that, and the third. He's denying it with Drew. And then so Sheree FaceTimes him, you know, so because we're going to get down to the truth for real. We just going to talk to him. Have you ever been my assistant? He says no. Drew was like, but you said, did you say that Ralph was gay? And he says, I might have said it, but I really don't remember saying it. And Drew like, but you said you didn't say it. Girl, we've been telling you that he's the liar. He was the problem. We told you that. He started to go in a little bit, talking about, do I think that Ralph is gay? No. And do I think that Drew needed a storyline? Yes. He started to, you know, go off on a tangent. So, and Andy gets up. Okay, thank you. And ends the call. That'll be all. Because you're talking too much. That's it and that's all. Until next time, guys. Until next time, I guess we're going to get the husbands out there. They're going to bring about the tussle. Because this reunion, this season, I just want something different. I just want it to be good again. I really want the show to be good again. I'm not giving up on it. Of course not. Because these are my girls. I'm not giving up on my girls. But I just want it to get better. I really do. That's it, guys. Be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It's Call Me Busby, and I'll chat with you later. Peace and light.